Seems like it was just yesterday the kids were getting out of school, and now they're getting ready to go back in. So we thought it only fitting to start this week's Explore Tulsa with story time.
Then a little history in Miami.
Followed by a place to get your shopping fix.
Plus putting the green in green country.
Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. Happy to see you decided to join us for this week's Explore Tulsa.
And you're just in time for Trish's story time. Yay!
What in the world are you talking about?
I think it would be a great name for a YouTube channel, and the kids would love it.
Instead, why don't we join the kids at Linnaeus Garden for story time in the garden?
Well, I think it's so important for us to find ways to get children outside, to get children away from those screens, and there's nothing better than reading stories to them. Yeah, our garden is going on 12 years old. Barry Fugate, who is the mastermind of it all, could envision what used to be just a field as being this beautiful garden. And he was the one that had the vision, and then he also had the vision to bring lots and lots of volunteers in to help him. I've been here for 6 years, and it was already going on when I came. It's grown a lot in those 6 years. In number, not so much in the number of programs, but in the number of children who participate in the programs. Okay, for story time, we're normally outside in a field, and we spread quilts on the ground. Books are sitting out on the quilts for the kids to look at as they arrive. And then we do a combination of story reading and songs and finger plays. Most of the children that we have are very young. They're from birth through about 4. So, you know, we try to keep them active. And then after we've read the stories and sung the songs, then we go on with some type of activity in the garden that follows it up and is on the same theme. So every week we have a different theme. Those of us that are involved in the children's program, many of us are former teachers, but even those who aren't teachers, we just love children. And so getting to talk to them, see them smile, the reaction that we get out of them is all the pay we need for being here. We don't always do a craft activities. Quite often it's a scavenger hunt within the garden where we want them, for example, when we were doing fruits and vegetables, we gave them a leaf and a fruit or a vegetable, and then they had to go into the veggie garden and find the plant that fruit or vegetable was grown from. It tests our creativity, but with lots of heads thinking together, then we always figure something cool out. We started the first week of June, and in the past we've always finished the last week of August. So it's every Thursday at 10 o'clock. And this past year, when it got to be August, our parents were just begging us, please, we don't want it to end. And so we decided this year we're going to take it through the end of September. Families visit all throughout the week, and so and story time is just once a week. So in the barn we have a bookshelf that is a display shelf that we can put books out on the topic that we use during story time so that families can come along and have their own private story time, borrow the book and sit down someplace in the garden and read. And then we've started purchasing puzzles. We have a little table with 4 chairs, just the right size for children, and they sit down and do a puzzle. Then we have a committee of people that plan activities for inside the barn or out in the garden. Activities to do while they're visiting and an activity to do when they go back home. Yeah, we have one other program that I'll tell you about. It just finished. It's a more intensive program for kids ages 6 through 12. It's called Little Green Thumbs, and that one meets 4 times over the course of the summer. And so they get to be actively involved in planting, digging in dirt, finding out what kind of soil is best for plants to grow in. And so it's a good educational program, very hands-on. Oh, it just warms my heart. There is nothing better than seeing a happy family. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Those kids are having so much fun, but they wouldn't let me put my hand and have paint on it so I could put it on the painting.
Aw, maybe after the show we'll paint your hand, Stevie. But if your little one is quite a bit younger than Stevie here, make plans for any Thursday morning at 10 a.m. now through September to enjoy story time in the Linnaeus Teaching Garden at Woodward Park.
In Miami, Oklahoma, the story of the Coleman Theatre sounds like a real fairy tale.
But it's all true, and it's next when we come back with more Explore Tulsa.
600 million people from over 238,000 miles away watched what no other person had ever done before. Neil Armstrong became the first man to step on the surface of the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Television brings us more than just entertainment. It brings us history. History that changes our lives. Sony and Video Revolution take you there, from space travel to world championships. Tomorrow's technology today. 4K smart TVs and the largest flat screens available. Now more than ever, you have the best seat in the world when history is made. Video Revolution. On the northwest corner, 71st and Lewis.
We do podiatry, we do dental oral appliances, we do women's health, we see children, pediatrics, and overall family care.
I'm a primary care provider for Sooner Care. We're also taking commercial insurances now as well. Any given day, I might do a well child on a 4-day-old baby and then see a 72-year-old who's here because they need to follow up on their sleep study.
Patients seem to like the idea where they can just come here and they don't have to worry about going to all these different specialists, whether they need a sleep study or a CPAP machine or diabetic shoes or an oral appliance. We help bring all that to the table for them.
And especially with oral appliances, custom fit by a specially trained dentist, and we have Dr. Bennett, who's the best in the business.
It has been my dream to be able to work with all the specialties together. There are not many places in the United States that have all parts of this together. To me, it's amazing, and that's truly how sleep and patient care should be.
Hi, and welcome once again for more Explore Tulsa. The Roaring 20s, as they call them, brought plenty of charm to Oklahoma.
Including the Coleman Theatre in Miami. The Vaudeville Theater and Movie Palace was a dream of local mining magnate George L. Coleman Sr.
And in just 360 days, Mr. Coleman built this magnificent structure with the hopes to bring some of the finest entertainers to Oklahoma.
And draw thousands to his fair city in Miami.
What do you do with all that money? Well, you live life to the fullest. And that's kind of what Mr. Coleman and his wife did. He married a young lady who was 30 years younger than he was, and they traveled a lot. Spent a lot of time in Florida area, California. They traveled the world. They loved to go to shows. They traveled to all the major cities in the country and throughout Europe to see great entertainment. And as he got a little bit older, he got the idea that he wanted to build a theater here in his hometown, not his hometown, but where he was living, because he thought that would be a good thing to do. He put out a lot of feelers, talked to a lot of people in the entertainment industry, and to a man, they almost all told him the same thing: don't do it. Now, we actually have copies of letters in our history room that verify that. Don't do it, it'll be a money pit, you'll never get your money back, it's just not worth it. But Mr. Coleman was pretty headstrong, and so he went about and made the decision that he was going to build a theater. If you're going to build a theater, you're going to have something very important, right? You're going to need entertainment. And so to get that entertainment, Mr. Coleman, who was spending a lot of time in California, had made a lot of contacts. Most people don't realize Mr. Coleman was an early investor in Hollywood. So he asked around about who do I talk to get entertainment at my theater? And he was told that since you have the money and you can afford it, you want the best.
We had a lot of great people that performed on this stage that were in the vaudeville time period. A lot of them are not verified because there really aren't very good records of who was here, because a lot of times it would say so-and-so's vaudeville troupe was here, but it didn't list who was in the troupe. But there are people that we can verify. For instance, we know Will Rogers was here more than one occasion, and also we are positive that Sally Rand was here. I don't know if you people are familiar with her. She's quite an interesting person. She was I'd say America's first and favorite exotic fan dancer. She would dance with fans in kind of provocative ways, and she was very popular. Both times she was here, sold out crowd. So we can verify that. We also know that Blackstone, the magician, was here. You may not be familiar with him, but he was Harry Houdini's protege. He was here. Now, Bing Crosby was a family friend of the Colemans. Even to this day, generations later, the Colemans and the Crosbys are very close friends. He was here, but never in a public capacity. We don't see anywhere where he, come and see Bing Crosby. But we have heard tell that he would come here sometimes with the Colemans and maybe some of their friends, and he would sing a few tunes on the piano. And of course he would. Who wouldn't want Bing to come at least sing every once in a while when he's here?
We're typically a live venue. We do some movies, but when we do a movie, it is usually a classic movie or with a special purpose. Other than we do show movies, and for special nights when maybe a group books the theater and comes in and has a dinner here, and then they enjoy a movie. And but for open to the public, we do 3 times a year. We bring in a world famous organist. Dennis James is our house organist, and he plays all over the entire world. And 3 times a year we bring him in and do a silent film Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. And those are great events because the organ was built for this theater to accompany probably some of the very same movies that we're showing. So that's a great movie event. We have live events most of the time. Our audience seems to respond well to things like Bob Wills' Texas Playboys. That's one of our biggest shows that we have. Riders in the Sky, but we also have a many variety of things. We try to bring in something for everyone.
What an incredible place. While we were there, they told us that they believe that Mr. Coleman and his brother continue to enjoy shows there even today, if you know what I mean. Ooh.
The Coleman Theatre is open for tours, regular shows, or event rentals. So visit thecolemantheatre.org to learn more.
You can also visit rsu.tv, click on the shows, and under local programs, click Living Grand on Grand Lake to watch more about the Coleman Theatre and other interesting stories about the Grand Lake area.
Oh, the trees are always so beautiful around Grand Lake.
Well, we've got a pretty awesome ones here too around T-Town, and when we return, we'll find out how Up With Trees plans to continue keeping us green with more Explore Tulsa.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get 1 pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99, or my 2-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
Good to see you back with us. And if you're a tree lover, then you've got a real treat in store for you.
That's right, Stevie. Drive just around anywhere in Tulsa and you'll see the signature Up With Trees signpost that we've all grown to appreciate.
Cities with trees, they have lower instances of child obesity. They have lower instances of heart and lung disease. Kind of when it comes to benefits of trees, it's also just that natural effect. So once you're in a natural environment, it reduces your stress. People in hospital beds, when they have views of trees, their recovery is a lot faster. Being around that natural environment when you're learning, so outdoor classrooms, we have higher rates of better test scores, graduation rates, just by being surrounded by nature.
Imagine this, 1976, they were doing road work in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They were expanding a road, which happened to be 51st Street between Peoria and Lewis. And there were old elms along this, what was then a county road. And those trees had to come out to expand the road. And a high school student from Edison called our streets commissioner at the time and said, I know we need to expand, I know we need to grow as a city, but what are we going to do about the trees? And that streets commissioner was Sid Patterson, our founder. I started in 2008, the project started the spring of 2008, and I was hired for the fall planting season. Yeah, starting out, I remember the interview for that position, and it was, the idea was we were going to plant 10,000 trees by 2010. And I was asking, what's the most number of trees you've ever planted in a year? And they were like, oh, about 1,000.
People actually don't, they know that we plant trees, but they actually don't know how many programs we have that educate the community. So that's a huge part of what we market, is trying to educate the community on the benefits of trees, on what the urban forest is doing for them, for our businesses, for our economy, outside of just clean air.
It was really an interesting aspect. It was, where are we going to put these 10,000? And really at that point in time, we didn't know. And 10,000 is a lot of trees. And, really what kind of changed it for me was a single phone call from Patrick Henry Elementary School. They had a staff member pass away, and they wanted to honor this teacher. And it was, we want to plant an Oklahoma redbud. She was an Oklahoma history teacher. And so I went out and I said, well, let's just walk around the campus. And if you could have, your campus redesigned and trees, where would you put them? And so we walked, and they kept stopping. We only want one tree. We're going to raise money for one tree. And then at the end, I said, we can do all of this through the generosity of Tulsans. And that percolated through the rest of the public school system. The signs have been part of, since Site 1. The Rotary Club of Tulsa sponsored a site up by the airport. And Rotary started getting calls like, how did you get this sign on the side of the highway? How did you get to plant these trees? And it was this signage to honor those donors that really started this program rolling. And it's what we've become to be known by.
And I think Tulsa is kind of a unique city in that that's already an attribute that the community really treasures is green country, right? So having our parks and having the gathering place that's coming up, really having beautiful spaces, but just letting people know that it's that extra step, it's that much further than just beauty. It's helping our health, education, reducing crime. There's a lot that trees really affect. We have a 26% tree canopy in Tulsa, and we want to grow that to 30%. So we talked about all these benefits that trees provide us, and so it comes to think that when you add more trees, the benefits grow as well. So we want to grow that for Tulsa, making it a healthier city, making it a more livable city, making it a city in the United States that people not only want to visit, want to live, want to build a business, raise a family, making it the place to come and stay.
What an amazing story. Plus, I learned that the trees used at schools actually help reduce power consumption by providing the shade to keep the buildings cooler too.
To find out how to help, visit upwithtrees.org or look for them on Facebook.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe we should do some shopping.
Ooh, that's a great idea. And one of the best places to get a lot of shopping in is all in one place. And it's coming up when we meet two of the ladies who started an affair of the heart next on Explore Tulsa.
When eating products with high glycemic carbohydrates like sugar and flour, our bodies release large amounts of insulin to convert what we've consumed into usable energy.
If insulin is continually elevated, our bodies are signaled to store fat.
Keep in mind, sugar calories are deadly calories, which can lead to heart attacks, obesity, and type 2 diabetes.
The key is to keep insulin under control. Stay away from high glycemic index carbohydrates.
At least 80% of our daily carbohydrates should be from the low glycemic variety. Get our free glycemic index food chart at sherwoodwellness.tv.
Why are we in spacesuits?
We are traveling to the future, where TVs have a contrast range between 400 nits of brighter whites and blacks as deep as 0.4 nits and 10-bit color. It gives us over 1 billion individual colors on the screen.
Video Revolution already has tomorrow's TVs today with the best in Sony high dynamic range TVs.
TVs with contrast and color offering more natural, true-to-life colors?
Oh yes, Video Revolution now and in the future on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis. Hi there, and welcome back for more Explore Tulsa. Stevie, what in the world are you doing?
I'm getting geared up for shopping at the Expo Square. All those women in one place in buying mode, I'm gonna need protection.
Stevie, an Affair of the Heart has been coming to Tulsa since 1995, and it's one of the most fun experiences that you can have shopping.
All right, well, I'll be right behind you.
It's like an escape from the world. Come and spend the day here, and it's a wonderful experience for them, for us too. I was part of the initial founders. There were 8 of us, and we all came together through an antique association.
There were 3 antique shops all together, and 3 of my partners and I owned one, and there were 2 others, and that included 4 other women, and didn't really know them. But we had done shows together, and just thought, you know, we love this, and we think we can do this, and we maybe can do it better. We've worked together for 32 years, and that's been an interesting experience.
We did shows, like one-day shows, that we just really enjoyed and had so much fun, and so we made a decision to try a one-day show and see how it worked.
The artists, craftspeople, the exhibitors came to us and said, after the first show, you need to do a 2-day show. And really, those are the people that grew our shows.
It was in Oklahoma City at the fairgrounds, and it was in one building, Hobby Arts and Crafts, and there were only 65 exhibitors. And 865 went through the door, and we thought it was wonderful. Today there's over 450 exhibitors here, and between 850 and 900 booths. Well, I think it's unique because when you have 450 exhibitors under one roof, that's huge. That's a lot of people. And it's like 450 retail shops in one building. It's a variety because we have a really cute booth out there that is old record players and old records. It's one of our cutest booths. Lots of people make things. They love making children's clothing, but there's just a variety of things. I meant jewelry, artwork. It's just lots of unique things here, one of a kind.
For me personally, when I walk into the show and I see people, I see family. I see family groups meeting, old friends meeting together that you haven't seen in several years. And already we have a common love and a common interest, or we wouldn't be here together. And one of the exciting things is to overhear conversations. I've been to the Conway show. I've been to the Oklahoma City shows for years, and I'm meeting my friends, I'm meeting my families, and listen to this, you've got to go to this booth. Those are my favorite words. And honestly, the business partners almost always come in separately, meet together in an hour or two and say, wait until you see this. And we all run over there together and we buy things and take them home, often for ourselves, but frequently for other people.
Well, we love it because I think of it as a really happy experience, lots of joy, lots of laughter. We think of it that it's just a really big party for everyone, and that people really come here to have a good time.
Eleanor and Annette are real sweethearts. Their story's amazing too. I'm certain it would make a great book or Lifetime movie.
The next Affair of the Heart comes to Tulsa November 17th through the 19th. So to get ready, visit heartoftulsa.com to learn more.
I always have so much fun when we go shopping, Trish.
Oh, me too.
Let me guess, because I'm the gatekeeper of the show credit card.
Yep, and you're such a pushover too.
Stick around, there's more Explore Tulsa just ahead.
Take charge of your health. We are what we put into our bodies.
We approach medicine from a unique standpoint. Rather than treating only the symptoms of an illness, we work to find the root cause and promote wellness of the entire body.
Our clinic offers complete assessment and treatment programs, including hormone replacement therapy, osteopathic manipulative therapy, and genetic DNA testing. It all starts with a medical evaluation.
Contact us today to begin your path to wellness.
At Video Revolution, the future is now. Behold the beauty of the new Sony 4K High Dynamic Range TV. A true view display producing real-world clarity and brilliant colors with Triluminous X1 technology. Step into the future for yourself at Video Revolution on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Be sure to join us next week when we meet former state senator Dr. Doug Cox.
Special thanks to Pam Snodgrass and all the volunteers making the kids happy at Storytime in the Garden.
Well, thanks too to Shannon Duhan, Rhonda McMinn, Danny Dillon, and all those who work so hard to preserve the history at the Coleman Theatre in Miami. And special thanks to Sean Davis, Steve Grantham, and all those involved with making Up With Trees possible.
Plus, thanks to Eleanor Blakeman and Annette Hinkle and their partners for bringing Tulsa an Affair of the Heart.
Remember, if you miss any of the show, you can always catch us at exploretulsa.com.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
And hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook and share with us someone you think Tulsa should know more about.
Plus, remember, Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop by, say hello to Ron and all the guys for all your home entertainment needs.
And Explore Tulsa is also proudly brought to you by Dr. Robert Zollner and Associates.
Home of Tulsa's best eye care value with 2 locations, 3030 South Harvard and 69th and Memorial.
And we welcome our newest sponsors, Doctors Mark and Michelle Sherwood at 61st and Sheridan.
Remember, your journey to whole body healing and wellness begins with the Functional Medical Institute.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we'll see you next week right here on Explore Tulsa.